Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, you are so much welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you have not subscribed, please hit on the subscribe button. Also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you get notified. In today's class, we'll be making a Victoria corset. If you're interested, keep on watching and let's go. So guys, with me here, I have my pattern paper. So this is me trying to rule the starting line, and this line will serve as my shoulder line. So from this line here, we start all our vertical measurement. So I will just place my tape at the line there and mark my chest line. The chest line I'm working with is, I divided my bust measurement into 6, then I added 1.5 inches to whatsoever I get, okay. So now from there, I will come to my waist measurement, which is 16 inches, and my bust nipple measurement, which is bust measurement, which is 10 inches. So I come down to, this is my under bust measurement, which is 30 inches. So I will just make a notch there. So from there, still maintaining the line, I will come down by 16 inches like I said for my waist, and the full length I'm using 22 inches. Please, when you can use any measurement you want, ensure that you measure your length, because I'm using 22 does not mean you will use 22. Just measure the length you want, okay. So I will just take it to this other side here and mark the same measurement I just marked. Then after that, I will root all of them as a straight line. So guys, after I root, this is what it looks like. So I'll just go ahead to label my lines. Here is my shoulder line, so that we will understand what we are doing. Here is my chest line. This is my bust line, which is the nipple point line. This is my under bust line. Here's my waistline, and here's the full length of the corset. So now the first measurement we'll be taking is to divide our shoulder measurement by 2. My shoulder measurement is 14 inches, so I will divide it by 2 and I will have 7. Then I will place the 7 at the center front and I will mark it. Remember, it's on fold. I will come to the chest line here and mark the same 7 inches. The reason is to have a straight line at the end here. So after marking, I will just go ahead to rule my straight line like so. So now you can see that we have a straight line there now. So now the next step now is to take our neck line. So for the basic neckline, I'm using 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the depth as well. So after marking now, I'll use a curve ruler now to just curve it like this. We just curve it and just trace it out like so. Just connect the two lines together. So guys, after that now, we are going to come to this straight line here and we will mark 1 inches from the shoulder down, 1 inches. The reason why we are marking this 1 inches is for us to slope our shoulder, because when you notice the shoulder is not straight, it's kind of curve and kind of curve somehow. So for you to achieve that part, you just come down by 1 inches and slope it to the neck width like so. So now the next step is just to divide my bust measurement into 4 and I will mark. If you just divide your bust measurement into 4 and mark what you have, okay. So now we are going to mark from the shoulder slope here down to the chest line, and we divide what we have then into 2 like so, and we mark it. So after marking it like this, from that mark point there, I will just come in by 0.5 inches. You can as well come in by 0.75, but I normally come in by 0.5 inches. Then you just connect these 3 dots together and to form your armhole. So this is how it looks like after covering my armhole. So guys, the next step is to take our nipple to nipple measurement. So guys, if you don't know how to, maybe you forget to take your client's measurement for the nipple to nipple measurement, I have some formula for you to get that. Okay, so you just divide your bust circumference and you divide it into 8. Okay, when you divide into 8, the answer that you will have, you will minus 1 inches from 8. Okay, to have your nipple to nipple measurement. Should be case you forget to mark, you measure your nipple, your client's nipple to nipple measurement, this is the best formula to have it. Okay, just divide your bust measurement or the client bust measurement into 8 and minus 1 inches from the actual answer you will have. Okay, so now, like I've done mine and mine is 3.5 inches. So now I will mark my 3.5 inches from the center front like this. I will just mark it down to the hemline. So guys, you can see I have marked my nipple to nipple measurement and I have rolled it up. So coming to the waistline here, I will put my darts at the waistline. So guys, I will mark 0.75 on both sides of the dart leg. Okay, just place for the other side I mark 0.75. The center front I also mark 0.75 like this. So I will just go ahead to connect it. Before I will connect to the down part, I will mark 1 inches from the hem part up like this. So I'll just use a ruler to connect it to meet the 1 inches we come up with like this. So I will connect it up to the bust points. So now we've correctly taken our darts for these buttons. So now the next step is to take our actual measurement. Remember we've taken our bust measurement. So we have taken our bust measurement already. So we know the under bust for now. And let's measure the waist measurement. Just go ahead to divide your waist measurement into 4 and mark what you have. So after mark, you replace your dart intake, that is altogether is 1.5 inches. Just replace it there and mark. So after mark, you come over to the hemline here, divide your hip measurement by 4 and mark what you have. Note that there's no, I've not add my seam allowance to it. Okay, so after mark, you just go ahead to connect all these lines together to form a straight line. So this is how it says, guys. So we've already connected our lines. The next step now is to come over to the shoulder like this. We come over to this shoulder here. Then we mark from the shoulder, just watch me carefully, from the shoulder slope like this. Just the shoulder slope, you mark it and you look for the midpoint there. Then after that, you just connect your lines to meet the bust measurement, as in to connect sorry, to correspond the lines to meet at the bust point there, like so. So you can see that. So guys, the next step is to come over to this other bust to do the other bust tightening. Okay, we need to tighten the other bust. So for us to achieve that is to divide our bust measurement, our under bust measurement, by 4 and mark what we have. Okay, so after taking my under bust measurement, so I will mark what is left for this other side there. Just mark it. So I have about 1 point some inches, so I will just approximate it to 1.5, and I will give the half inches to the center front and 1 inches to to the side. You can see I gave 1 inches to the side, half inches to the center. So now after that, I will just go ahead to use a curve ruler like this to just connect the mark to the bust point, like so. So I will be using marker for this one so that it will be more visible for us to see very clearly. So this is the other side of it. I'm just creating a curve like this. This is to tighten the under bust. So after that, now I'll just, from that part there, I'll connect it to the down parts as shown. So I will do the same thing to the other side like this. So we've successfully tightened our under bust. Okay, so you can see that there are some parts, this part here, don't just ignore it. Okay, it didn't spoil anything. So now the next step is to come over to this upper part here. This is how to determine how low you want your upper part to be. So you can decide to use 2 inches, you can decide to use 1 inches as well, but I use 1.5 inches. Okay, in my own case I use 1.5 inches, but like I said, you can use 2 inches or 1 inches. Don't go more than 2 inches. So now I will just go ahead to roll this line in a straight line like this. But I noticed that this line is kind of bend, so I will just go ahead to correct it so that it will not spoil my work. So you can see me remarking the 1.5 inches and to correct the line as well. So this is it. After correcting it, I will just go ahead to roll it up again. Okay, so you can see this other first line is no longer needed because it's a mistake. I will just shade it out because we are not using it. It's a mistake. Okay, just go ahead, cross check your work, and you mark the right measurements. Okay, so now after that, now we are going to tighten the upper bust. So this part here is the upper bust, so we are going to tighten it. Like for me, I normally use 0.5 inches because I'm not too bust here. My bust is not too big. So for the average bust, you can use 0.75, but for plus size person, please go ahead to use 1 inches for plus size bust. So you can see me connecting my half an inch to meet the bust. All the measurements must meet the bust points. Okay, all the under bust, the upper bust line must meet at the bust point. So you can see me connecting my measurements to meet the in the bust line there. So this is basically it. Just go ahead to trace it. You don't need a sharp edge at that part. If you see any part sharp, go ahead to undo the sharp part. Okay, just blend it in a way, in a curving way. Okay, so this is basically it. You can see I've tightened my over bust. So the next step is to take our bust darts. So you remember the front dart, the front length and the back length, they are not the same. So we introduce our bust dart by coming down from the bust line by 2 inches. Then I will connect it to meet the bust. Everything, like I said, everything we meet at the bust point. You connect it to meet the bust point as well. Hope you get what I'm trying to say. So basically we are done with the drafting of the bustier. So it's time for us to add another dart to our corset, because a Victoria corset you can add as many darts as you want. You can create many darts as you want in Victoria corset. So now I want to try to create another dart. Okay, so I will just divide what I have here and mark the middle like this. Okay, just so this is how I really want to divide mine. So I divide it into two like this and I mark. So after that I will make it a straight line. So I will just mark what I have from that dot to the other side and I will mark it like so. Okay, up to the bust point as shown. So after that now, after that I will mark it as a straight line. So this is how it is. So now we are going to snatch our waist. Okay, I will be snatching my waist by 2 inches. Like I will remove 2 inches from my actual waist measurement, just the waist. Okay, so now what I will do is that is to remove 1 inches from the front part and remove another 1 inches from the back. So now I will be using 0.5 inches on both sides of this dart leg. So I will mark half an inch for the both sides. So we are successfully remove 1 inches from the front. Okay, so half plus half is 1 inches. So we are going to connect it to the bust area like so. We are going to connect it like this. So it depends on you. You can actually remove 3 inches from your actual waist measurement if you want it really snatched. Okay, if you don't want it, if you don't want it that, if you don't want it so snatched, you can actually remove 2 or you can remove 3 or 4 if you really want it snatched. So like me, I just want to remove 2 inches from my actual measurement. So you can see I have removed 1 inches from the upper part. So we come over to the chest line. We want to take our neckline. So you can actually maintain your chest line if you don't want your sweater neck to be deep. So me, I don't want to maintain that. I come down from the chest line by 1 inches. I want it to be deep, to be kind of deep. Okay, so I come down by 1 inches from the chest line. Like I said, you can use the chest line if you want. So from the other dart leg, I will connect to meet my armhole. That's what you see me doing. So for this sweetheart neck, it depends on how low you really want it and how high you want it as well. So this is what I really want for this Victoria corset. So you can see me retracing my armhole. So guys, that is it. I'm redrawing my sweetheart neck for the center front so that it will stay very well. Don't know if you understand. So guys, that is it. So I will just go ahead to shade out the parts that is no longer needed. that we cut off later. So all these parts that I am shading, they are the ones to cut out later. Okay, just cut it out. The side, the bust that, I will cut it out. It's no longer needed. So coming to this side, the other side, we don't need our corset, our Victoria corset to be sharp at this area here. So for us to eliminate that sharp point, I come up by 1.5 inches. You can as well come up by 1 inches if you want. So to give it a kind of curve at the side like this, so just place your curve rule like this and you connect it to make the point you mark. So you can see that the sharp edge is eliminated in that part. So I will just go ahead to highlight this other side so that it will be more visible for us to see clearly. So even the other side, the side, I will just go ahead to just mark it like this. Okay, just mark it like so. So guys, that is it. So I will just go ahead to label my pattern. So you can see the arrow that I'm giving. The center front is going to this other side, while the middle is coming to this side and is also going to the other side. You can see this is the side front. It's coming to this side. Just pick an arrow the way you will understand it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So basically that's all. So before we cut, I will just go ahead to this upper part. I will just go ahead to fold it to know if these two they are equal, because the one is actually longer than the other one, so you need to blend it well before cutting. So guys, this is me trying to blend to the two together. You can see that the side is longer than the center, so I'm blending it. So guys, that is it. After blending, I'll just extend the line up like this. Okay, just blend like this. So guys, that is it. I'll just go ahead to cut out my pattern. I'll first of all close my bust dart. Before you close your bust dart, you open one of the dart before closing your bust dart. So guys, you close your bust dart. This is me applying my B6000 to garment like this. Then you just blend this other line to be equal like so. Then you go ahead to trim out the part you want for this Victoria corset. Just cut it out. At this point, if you find this helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Also turn on the notification bell. Thank you. So this is it after cutting my Victoria corset, or after cutting the front. So I will just step this aside and let's work with the back. Okay. So this is another pattern paper, guys. You can see I've rolled all my lines. And I've marked my bust dart just we did to the front. So I come in by 0.75 on both sides and I connect. I'm sorry for this clip. I thought my phone is recording it. Never knew it's not recording. So just the way we did at the front, that is what we are doing here. Sorry, what we are doing here is not too serious thing about it. Okay. So connecting my dart. You know, I don't normally connect that for my back, but since this is Victoria corset, you need a dart for the back. Okay, because this is a Victoria corset. And what I will still remind you is for the length of this, from the length of this this back I use 20 inches instead of 22 inches, and for the waist, from the shoulder to the waist, I use 14 inches. Please take note, okay? So me, I'm taking my under bust measurement, replacing my dart, and I come to the hip line and I mark my hip measurement divided by 4, and I mark. So I will just go ahead to connect this line together like this, okay? Please, the difference between the back and the front is the length, okay? The front length is 22 while the back length is 20. Because don't worry, the two will correspond together after cutting, okay? So now we are going to take another dart. You remember I said I will remove 2 inches from my actual waist measurement. So I've already removed one from the front, so the remaining one will be at the back. So I have created another line here, and I will roll it straight like this. If you find this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, okay? Thank you. So now for this waist part, I will deduct half an inch on both sides, just the way I said earlier. So by so doing, we have successfully removed our 2 inches for the waist snatching, okay? So I will just go ahead to connect the lines like this. So we'll just connect it to the down part. So this is it. We just shade it to identify that this part is going off. So guys, like we did to the front, we are going to curve the down part by using 1.5 inches as well. Please note that whatsoever you use at the front is the same thing you will use at the back as well. So just go ahead to connect the lines like this. So after connecting, I will just blend it like so, okay? So now coming to the upper part here, I want to explain something for us here, okay? You can as well just start your, like from this chest line, you can come down by 1 inches from the chest line, okay? Then you can actually take your neckline from here, from the chest line down to this 1 inches, okay? You can actually do that, but me in here, I don't want my back to be that too exposed. That is why I want to come up by 1.5 inches. Okay, let me just mark this with my pen, okay? I'll use my pen to just mark it so you understand what I'm trying to say. You can connect it from the chest line. You can connect it from the chest line like the way I am doing it. But I'm not using this particular one because I don't want my back to be too obvious. So you can connect it like this, okay? So let me just make a dot here, so that, because I'm not using this one, so that I'm just explaining it for us so that you can actually use it. You can use it like this, okay? But I don't want my back at the armhole side to be too exposed. So what I will do is that I will just ignore this line here. I will ignore it. But like I said, you can connect your neckline from that chest line. Don't don't misunderstand me, okay? So like me now, I will come up by 1.5, just the way I come up by 1.5 at the front. So I will come up by 1.5 like this, because I don't want my back to be too open. That's why I am doing mine like this. But please, if you want to connect your back, connect it from the chest line, which is from the armhole down to where you want, how deep you want it, please. So now I will just connect it to meet the 1 inches that I come down. Like I said, you can actually come down, start your neckline from your chest line, okay? But in my own case, I will start mine from this 1.5 inches, okay? I will just connect. I will use my marker now to just connect it. I will be using marker for this because this is what I want to use, okay? I'll first of all use my pen, then I will use my marker to highlight it. So like I said, this is what I want. But if you want to use the chest line, fine, you can still use the chest line, okay? So this is what I want. So guys, that is it. The next step now is to tie the dart leg by using 0.25 on both sides. 0.25 on both sides, then you just roll it straight like so. Connect it. So the reason why we deducted 0.25 is for us to eliminate bulginess at this upper part, okay, to tighten the back, uh, okay. So now coming to this waist here, for the back not to be bulged, because our back, they are not straight, is curving, so deduct half an inch from the center like so and connect it to blend to this other side. This is like my marker is finished here, so I'll just manage it. Because the marker is finished. So this is to eliminate any bulginess at the back waist, okay, at the back waist. So that is it, guys. So now the next step is to take my nails from our back, because remember we are going to release the back. That is why we did not add zipper allowance. So I come in by 1.5 inches like this. I am deducting 1.5 inches from the center front like this. So I will just roll my line straight. So this part here is where we will add our eyelets, okay. Let me just identify it there. Highlights our eyelets. So guys, that is basically it. We're going to cut our pattern. So before you cut your pattern, just label the way we did to the front. Always label your Victoria corset, because if you did not label it in, it is very confusing, okay, especially when you are sewing it. And when you are sewing it, don't worry, when we will sew it, you will see how to go about it, okay. This is just for the pattern drafting. In my next video we will do the sewing part, because it's too long. I cannot do the sewing part here now, so I'll just go ahead to cut. So guys, after cutting, this is what I have. You can see 3 pieces here. So try and label your pattern so that you won't get confused. And here is the front. So guys, this is the back side and the front side. So you can see that the two, they are corresponded together. You can see what I'm saying. So with the help of the bust dart, you can correspond the back and the front lengths together. You can see they are equal now. So that is it, guys. I will just go ahead to transfer my pattern paper to my main fabric, and in my next video we'll do the sewing. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, and if you are yet to subscribe, please hit on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I get a new video you will be notified. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. To see you in my next one.